It's the Bro Show. It's Lucas and Jacob. Hi, bros.
Yeah, welcome back to another week of the Bro Show. Da, da, da.
I thought we would start off on a really positive note and I had a question for you and just the audience. Like, do you have any memorable times in elementary school, like bullying moments?
Yeah, but I feel like if I really wanted to think about it more, I'd have to write it down, because with me, I kind of feel like if I times that I actually felt bad about myself, I am one of those people, and maybe it's probably really common. Well, I kind of forget about it, and I really have to ruminate on it or whatever to figure it out again.
You need a therapist to come in for an episode to really get to the most
I
memorable.
wasn't beat or anything in school. I'm just saying
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah, just from little experiences.
All right, but the one funniest one that happened to me, which wasn't funny at the time, was in second grade. I was walking to lunch, and I was swinging my hips so much because I don't even know how I learned that. It was just, I think it was innate.
Yeah.
It was just my natural walking that I wanted to try out. And then someone behind me called out and said why are you walking like a girl? But it made me think I can relate to Lorde, because in the Charlie XCX remix, she says, "You walk like a bitch. When I was 10, someone said that." And for me, it was when I was 8, and they didn't say bitch. They literally just said I walked like a girl. And then remember, I immediately started crying, but then a teacher came to my side and was like, "It's okay," and got all mad at him. But that's actually pretty sexist of me. Somebody said I walked like a girl and I started crying. Now looking back, I was the problem.
But in elementary school, even high school, I feel like everyone just wants to fit in. So basically, if you're a guy and someone calls you a girl, you're probably going to be pissed. And if you're a girl, someone calls you a guy, you're probably going to be pissed. Because basically...
that's true. For a girl, you could also say, "You seem like a boy," and they'd be like, "What?"
But also, you could just be a sexist person.
Yeah, I think in second grade I was sexist. So I want to apologize to that bully. The thing is, he wasn't even actually a bully. He was never mean any other time. He just, I guess he saw another classmate male swinging his hips walking to lunch and decided to call it out, Also, imagine all this happening at a Catholic school.
He was basically saying it's okay, if your hips swing like that. I take it back.
After the teacher confronted him, he was like, "I am so sorry." He's like, "It's okay. You walk like that. You walk like a bitch."
I know that is crazy, because he basically did say you walk like a bitch.
I know. So it's just funny how that memory stuck with me, and it also stuck with Lorde,
You guys are the same person.
I wonder if she also swung her hips walking to lunch at school, and that's why she had to write that line in the verse of "Girl So Confusing,"
This brings up a big topic. When people mention the way you walk or even the way you talk, I feel like those are very vulnerable topics, because...
even as an adult.
Because you do those things not even thinking about it. So then if someone points it out, you start thinking about it, and then it's okay... Now my whole life is ruined because I can't do anything without thinking about what I'm doing with my hands. So if someone said "Why are your hands always doing that?" Now my whole life is ruined because I always think about my hands.
That's just my instinct. No, that actually happened recently. We were at dinner with our whole family, and I walked to the bathroom, and then I walked back, and I saw a few people they glanced at me walking back, and I felt immediately insecure. When someone's watching you walk, you just all of a sudden feel so stiff and weird. Why is that? Is that just, I think that maybe it's just me?
No, I do understand you. I feel, let's say I was in this situation where I knew a bunch of people were looking at me, and I had to walk across the stage.
Oh, that would be horrible. That would actually be hell.
But for some reason, it's more comfortable for me if I was able to run. I feel like when I'm running, I'm just I'm running. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But if I'm walking, it's more intricate, and you can see all the movements. Where if someone said, "Okay, you have to walk a mile in front of all these people," I'd rather just run the mile, because then it just feels way better.
Even running can be embarrassing, but walking is more embarrassing by far. I think that would actually be better than if there was a death penalty. If you had to walk across a stadium as everyone watched and critiqued every little thing you did. I think people wouldn't commit crimes anymore if that was the punishment.
Honestly, yeah. I feel like something that could be worse than the death penalty is like going into people's psych and doing stuff like that. So like,
just
I
a
feel like
public bullying, verbal.
to really get into it, I feel like you would secretly be interviewing someone over a few years that did something really bad. And then one day you'd use all that information against them.
I
Like
know.
if the U.S. government really wanted to torture people, that would be the way.
I know. I'm picturing it in a Hunger Games type arena. The government somehow finds the meanest people, like the meanest, most dark people from each town. They gather their insults and then they just make fun of you in front of the entire country and everyone laughs.
Yeah, then again, though, like, let's say for some reason that happened to me. I just feel like after 5 minutes, since I've, like, grown more than when I was in 5th grade, I would just be like, F this, they don't know anything.
Yeah, I feel like I would try to, like, remain strong, but then 2 minutes and I would start crying. And then, you know how once you start crying, you feel fine? Then I feel like I would just accept it. I'd just be crying and be like, yeah, everyone hates me, and yeah. So, yeah, I feel like, yeah, you'd be, at least, and you would still be alive at the end. I mean, the death penalty is not even a thing anymore, so I mean, it's not like...
I thought it was in some states. I remember like there being a thing where it's like, there's someone in Nebraska that's getting like something put in their veins that kills them. Like this
Doesn't
is like
Kim Kardashian
I swear that
usually
happened, like,
save them?
2017 or something.
Like, I feel like Kim Kardashian usually swoops in the last day and saves them. So thank God there's people like her like actually helping the earth. I feel like I heard about her swooping in at the last second one time. And it's so funny, her doing an Instagram post, like, then the prison's like, oh, I guess we won't do it. Like,
Wait,
they actually
so
cave for Kim Kardashian.
They actually like listened to her stance and changed.
I feel like that happened once. I could be wrong, though, but everyone just listens to Kim, it turns out.
The death penalty does sound really like archaic.
I know, like, what? That actually is Hunger Games type stuff.
But with the whole running and walking thing, I feel like I've gone on runs since I was like 13 or something. But me and Lucas have both talked about this, how we've stumbled upon posts on Reddit of people saying, oh my gosh, I want to go on a run, but I'm too embarrassed. So I've never, I kind of get what they're saying, but that's the thing. It always kind of comforts me. I'll be completely honest. But when I see people feel insecure about things that I don't really feel insecure about, I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm glad that I'm not insecure about
you're
everything.
like a superiority over them, kind of.
It makes me feel good because it's like, okay, like other people are insecure about things. I'm insecure about some things. So like, well, normal. So then when I saw people insecure about going on runs in their neighborhood, I was like, oh, I go on a run like quite often and I don't really think about it.
Oh, that's actually
But
why people
we've
need to
talked
be
about this.
People need to be sharing their insecurities, because yeah, just hearing other people's insecurities, even if you don't relate to them, you're like, oh, like I'm not the only one who like doubts myself in every situation, you know? Like you just feel better hearing other people express it.
Yeah, like but with the whole saying you walk like a girl thing, is like, it's funny like how I'm guessing it still happens in elementary school, but like when I was in elementary school, like people actually would make fun of people for wearing pink sometimes. Like it's weird.
Really?
It's weird how like I went to elementary school in like the 2000s, 2010s, or 2000s, I guess actually. And people still
God,
made
so
fun
like,
of the color pink. And I feel like people, I don't know if I'm completely right, but I feel like that would be a thing in some schools.
Oh yeah, I feel like it regressed then, because remember when I was in like middle school / high school, that started being the trend of it's cool for men to wear pink, and like it was sort of a flex being like real men wear pink, like we aren't scared.
I remember that, yeah.
But then for your demo, you're like younger than me, so then it regressed again.
But I'm trying to like remember. I kind of remember there being a point in middle school where like there was a point where like guys in my class were saying like, "Oh, it's cool to wear pink now." Like I swear that was kind of a thing, like what you're talking about. Was it because of breast cancer awareness?
Oh.
They kind of like people wanted to be breast cancer awareness advocates. So then like inherently or whatever the word would be, breast cancer awareness also made it more acceptable for men to wear pink.
I feel like that probably ties in the City Girls lyric, pussy pink breast cancer.
So they just like did that rhyme just because it rhymed, or like...
I know, that's why I always thought that line was so funny, because like this song isn't about breast cancer or like anything to do with that. Just all of a sudden they just want to point out the color of their genitals, but then and then whenever you think of pink, you think of breast cancer. So they do, I guess the line is awareness for breast cancer. Little breast cancer awareness bar.
One of the main things when I think of breast cancer awareness, there's a month, right?
Yeah.
It's February?
I don't know.
But I remember YoPlay had breast cancer awareness. Like we got yogurt from them, and like all their yogurts had like that ribbon on top.
Oh, the ribbon is iconic. That actually is so good they did all that because you know that made so many people be like, I bet you even the City Girls line, pussy, pink, breast cancer, like somebody heard that and was like, shit, like I haven't gotten a mammogram in a while. And then like they're being preventative and taking control of their health.
No, like I feel like for sure, like it sounds so dumb, like, oh, these brands doing this, what are they doing? But I feel like it actually could like save lives somehow.
Oh, for sure. I feel like people are booking those mams up. Like they're probably booked for like months in advance after that City Girls song dropped.
Oh yeah, hopefully not though. Because then like, what if it's so booked up where it's like trying to get front row tickets to like Billie Eilish?
Oh, it's
That
like
would
the
be
Eras
bad.
tour.
That would be
that's
bad.
true. That could be a whole nother thing.
Yeah. I can't believe we went in depth with childhood bullying.
You never said a story. You never said a story about yourself, but you don't have to.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you want to wait for when we have the therapist visit.
Oh no, like the first one that came to mind, but it sounds like, oh my gosh, Jacob, but like, and when I literally said like, oh, I didn't get beat, but but just one time, or like a few times in kindergarten, there was this guy that would like punch me in the stomach at PE.
Oh, that's you did get beat.
No, that's why like but I just remember at the time I was like, oh my gosh, this sucks, he's so mean. But then like, you guys, since we went to the same school, you guys actually kind of, I'm just gonna use the word bullied, but you guys didn't bully him. Like I remember, like you and like two of our sisters.
You went to like go like yell at him.
You
right?
went up to him and said like, "Oh yeah, like you can't be doing that." And it's weird because like after that he didn't do it.
Oh, he's like, wait, these like 3 like middle schoolers are gonna beat me up if I keep doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you gotta do. That's the thing. Like they always say, when they go low, go high. But like it seems like if someone's bullying you, you kind of have to like bully them back. You know?
Yeah, I feel like that experience did kind of put in my mind where like if for some reason someone was ever making fun of me in real life, I feel like if you want to do want to actually stand your ground, you do have to build up the confidence, don't cry, and actually don't be mean to them, but just tell them like what you're doing right now is like really assholey. And like
I feel like you might even have to go deeper than that though, and like come up with something so cutting that you know is gonna like ruin them, like something they're so insecure about, and then put that on blast. I feel like you do need to go even harder. And then they'll be like, okay, I'm not going to mess with them because like they're going to make me like hate myself, you know?
Oh,
like you have to
okay.
like do stuff to like, I feel like if you really want to nip it in the bud, 'cause I'm just picturing these office bullies, like they would bully you and then you would say, you're being a dick. And they'd be like, oh, okay, sensitive. So then you'd have to find something that they're insecure about to rip down their self-esteem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I wonder how you go about that. Like
I think it's kind of what we were saying.
Sounds,
like you have to gather info over months, like what are their insecurities, and then like you have to have like a journal, like graphs and stuff, and then put it all into ChatGPT, and like they would come up with the best insult to just like tear them.
But let's say I was at an office job and someone made fun of me, and I overheard them over the past few months talking with another coworker saying like, me and my wife just don't have the best sex life. But then what if you go so far where you say, okay, first of all, stop bullying me, but also the reason why your wife doesn't have sex with you is because you have a micro penis. So in that situation, like it actually wouldn't be good to do that because you're gonna get fired.
Or you could just say like,
so like,
or you
what
could
if you
just
go
say,
too far? Where like it's
well,
like
you could do it gentler. You could say like, okay, I've heard you talking about your sex life at work, which first of all, that's weird, but don't take your bad sex life out on me. I just can't. You can't keep. You know what I mean? You can't keep taking out your bad sexual life and bullying me to make yourself feel better. And then what if you actually just act concerned? Like, I feel like that could be a good way. Do you think there's like bullying consultants? You know, like Fiverr.com, where you can hire like a graphic designer, like someone to style your clothes. They can like design architecture or whatever. I wonder if there is someone on Fiverr who is like just a bullying expert. And they say like, are you getting bullied at work? Like we can come up with a plan together and like really tear them down.
I feel like technically, life coaches are bullying consultants. I don't even really know what it is, but from seeing them on TV shows, like if I got a life coach, I feel like they would just be you could turn it into a bullying consultant.
That's true. I've actually always thought like, wait, I want to get a life coach because it sounds more fun than a therapist. Like you aren't just like crying each time. It's more just about like building yourself up.
So is it basically just like someone comes to your house or you go to the office or whatever? And like, is it more just about like how to make yourself a better, like, I guess you could say that's what therapy is, but I always thought the difference was like, oh, like, okay, so you're too lazy to do your job. Like, I'm going to teach you how to not be lazy. It's kind of like,
yeah, I feel like it'd basically be like you hire someone who read all the Tony Robbins books and they like kind of summarize them to you.
Or like, I remember in middle school, like there was this thing where they were like saying like, okay, we got to have grit. And like, there was like March.
We got to have grit?
Yeah, there was like merch with the school. Like, well, they give everyone a free T-shirt that says "Got Grit" and it's like the slogan of the school that year, you know.
Oh.
But I remember they played this one video that's on YouTube somewhere, and it was like some, it's always one of those NFL players or something, and they're screaming at you, saying, "Okay." Saying like,
I was like
get up in the morning. And I remember when I was 12, I thought I wouldn't ever be an NFL player, but now I am. Like
so you just gotta get up and go after your dreams. Get up.
Yeah, because I feel like you could find a life coach that would be like so loud and annoying like that, and like maybe it would help you. Like, I actually wouldn't like someone doing that.
Yeah, because even people say like, I'm gonna get a personal trainer because I want someone to force me to do the workouts. But I've actually had personal trainers, and they've always been like so gentle. Like, remember my first personal trainer was like so nice, and like he was kind of the vibe of like, if I said I was tired, he would say like, oh, let's just take it easy today. But like, I feel like if somebody actually acted like I was in the military, like I would have just canceled the first time. Because I'd be like, I don't want to cry during my workouts, you know?
Yeah, I feel like for me, that doesn't like align with just like how I feel. Like I feel like I'm not like a beating up type of person.
I feel like I need a trainer who's like really like just so empathetic and like we can do it. Like you just keep trying, like that type of vibe, instead of get up, you lazy piece of shit.
But then I guess if a trainer told you like, you have to work out today, they don't want to do that because then you on the off chance could cancel them and say, my trainer forced me to work out and I didn't want to work out. So they're basically making me feel out fatigued, and like probably somehow you could twist it into like they're the most horrible person. I don't know how, but
speaking of my training experiences though, one of the places I did training was LA Fitness. This was all in like my early 20s, so this was a long ass time ago, like a decade ago. But one of the times I had a trainer, and I thought I was paying for one-on-one training, but I did it at like the most popular time, 9 a.m. So like there was always like a few other people there, and we all just did training together, even though it was supposed to be one-on-one. But it's so funny because one of the people I did training with ended up being a witness in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Like, remember when everyone was obsessed with that trial, I would like tune in every now and then, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, how do I know this person? And I was like, I trained with them at LA Fitness. Like, we did planks next to each other. Like, that's just so interesting. Like, I didn't know at the time they were connected with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Like, I should have befriended them, and then I also could have been a witness.
So how were they connected?
I think they were one of her best friends, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we never talked. We literally just would talk about like the most. Like we never went in depth about anything because we were both like sweating.
If you emailed the judge when it was happening, maybe you could be a
witness for the witness.
Yeah, because couldn't you be a witness? Couldn't you be a witness for them and say like, I was at wherever you were,
LA Fitness.
Yeah, and like, they were really honest with me. Or if they weren't honest, you could say they weren't honest with me. It's like,
yeah, because what if I had little things? Like, what if I said, like, yeah, whenever we did planks, like, they would always cheat? You know what I mean? So it's like, should we take their witness testimony seriously?
So I don't know that much about these court cases and judging, because, like, when this one was happening, for example, I just remember thinking, like, I just don't give a shit. I don't really get why everyone gives a shit. Not like whatever happened, like whether it was bad or not. I'm just talking about in general, the whole trial. And thinking, like,
I was so interested in it, but like at the same time, I was interested in it, but I also had the thought in my mind of like, this shouldn't be illegal.
No,
like we shouldn't be allowed to just watch this trial from front to finish and like dissect it on social media, and then like the witnesses will see all the not the witnesses, the jury will see all the social media dissection and like it'll influence their decision. Like doesn't it just seem so illegal and like such an invasion of privacy?
That's kind of what I was going to say. First of all, I feel like that's like horrible, it being casted. But what else I was going to say was like, I don't understand like the judge system and stuff, but like, I feel like it's kind of weird how all these people could be witnesses. Because like, what if someone just has an agenda against you or for you?
Well, that's usually what it is.
But then it just seems so, not equal, because then if you're going to court with someone and they have someone that just absolutely hates you for no reason, then just is unequal.
Well, that seems like, if I remember right, that's actually how that trial went. Like they would both hire psychologists that would like go with their side. Like Johnny Depp would hire a therapist or whatever and say like, she has all these mental illnesses, like she's not reliable or whatever. And then like she would hire a psychologist for him to like dissect his psyche, is it, how do you, psyche?
I've heard both, I don't know.
But yeah, so that actually is what they do. Like the whole thing is just one big like verbal like battle. I remember doing mock trial in high school and loving it though. Like I lived for that. I was always the witness though, so I got to like do a little character acting, Meryl Streep energy.
That sounds fun.
Being a lawyer, that seemed like a lot of work, but
You have to stand up for your clients.
yeah, but for me, I just got to be like a little bitch on the trial stand and like not answering the questions right and just be so difficult. Just fun, brat vibes.
But going into this whole like these court cases being aired and stuff, it made me think of something that I wrote down so I remembered it. Movie reviews. Now I don't have proof of this because I don't know if it's completely true. But just to prove how much like social media and people's opinions on social media have on real life is like this is an example. And now I don't know if this is true, but it seems like it's true. The movie Don't Worry Darling. Who was it directed by again?
What is her name? The first thought that came to my mind was Julia Childs, but that's like a chef. Wait, what is her name? Whatever, the girl who dated Harry Styles. But
yeah.
like, how do we know? I can't think of her name right now.
She directed like Booksmart. But yeah, so that movie, there was all this drama around it. And then it got such bad reviews on like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, I think. And I remember we watched the movie and I remember thinking like, oh, to me, it seems like a good movie. I like it.
Yeah, and you just knew that if there wasn't all that online chatter about it, it would have gotten better reviews.
Yeah, so now to prove this point, I want to see if this new Blake Lively movie that has a bunch of drama in it has bad reviews. What is it called?
Oh, what is it? I don't know. I haven't read any of those Colleen Hoover books.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to see if that has bad reviews, because if it does have bad reviews, I haven't even watched the movie. Yeah, so it has a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, which, I mean, that's like okay, but that kind of also proves my point. I haven't even watched this movie, so maybe it could just be a not that good movie. But I just feel like when these movies get all this drama and stuff, yes, it might be good for people watching it, but then I feel like it leads to bad reviews because these critics like have all this information in their mind, and then it waters down the movie so much.
Because they're thinking about the actual stars, like not even the characters they're playing. They're thinking about, the drama between Blake Lively and the other guy. I don't even know anything about this that much, but like,
yeah, I don't either.
I swear last week that's all anyone was talking about on Twitter. Like the whole drama between them. And I was just wondering, like, do the movie studios create this drama because it gets everyone talking about it? But then it seems counterintuitive because, like you said, it kind of makes people want to hate the movie. But like, did that just organically happen? Like, all this, people just started noticing they weren't doing interviews together and then they unfollowed each other or something. Like, it just is crazy how it actually gets so effing big.
Yeah, I feel like this could have happened even before TikTok. But then I see like these TikTok clips of, I keep almost burping, of random things where like someone's in front of the camera and they're like fully explaining and dissecting the scenario, but in a minute. So I feel like those TikToks get so many views and stuff. And someone probably did one about this, which so I could see, what I'm trying to say is I could see this whole drama started from one TikTok.
That's
and then
crazy.
It turned into like this whole thing. But
yeah, all I know is that our sister told us about it and she said something about, there's a scene where the guy has to lift Blake Lively and he was saying, like, I'm kind of scared to lift her because like I don't want to like break my back. Because I guess he had back issues and like then that caused drama because she was like, what? That's rude. Like, why would I break your back? Because I'm like so petite. But
then it's this whole thing where like, who's even saying this?
Yeah, who leaked this? Like, is this actually all just fiction? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't, is there an actual source?
Yeah, so.
Or are people just making up scenarios and they go viral?
My guess is this actually wasn't planned because like we said, I feel like it does lead to more popularity in the movie maybe, but in the end, I could actually see it just doing worse because then even 5 years from now, when the movie's on Netflix, won't people just be like, oh, it's the one drama movie?
Oh, yeah, I saw
so maybe they wouldn't give it a chance.
I saw the author of the movie. I don't know how she's involved because I haven't really heard anything about her being involved in the drama, but she had to go private on TikTok because of all the hate. Like, that would suck. But that made me think of the reason why I kind of think maybe they play into it, the movie studios, is because of the whole Sydney Sweeney, Glenn Powell thing for their movie. What was that movie called again?
Anyone But You.
Okay, their romantic comedy they did where they pretended to be dating and like even though she has a fiance, like they kind of really played into, and I think she even has commented on it saying that like I had all these ideas for like the marketing, how we could make it like get all this hype drummed up about our romance. So like that kind of makes, you know what I mean? And they started that whole
is planned.
And it's crazy because they started all of that rumor stuff like 6 months before the movie came out. So like they really let it marinate on social media.
Oh yeah, and then like that one is like a whole thing because then I remember she was hosting SNL and she was kind of hinting like we might do more movies together, her and Glenn Powell, and even it technically the like drama you could say is kind of continuing because she did a joke about him and he was in the audience. So it's kind of crazy how like they're like kind of continuing, even though we all know it's fake, they're kind of continuing this whole thing of like, we're kind of dating, even though I think she's dating someone, but
it's like an old Hollywood type of way of marketing, like pretending like the two movie stars are dating and they're going to do all these movies together. Like they could just have like everyone knows it's fake, but they just have like, they could have a fake marriage ceremony. Like that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, so I guess who knows? This could all just be planned because it does lead to more people watching it, I bet.
Yeah, that's true.
We have a podcast for this email. Like we used to always read emails from it before we stopped. But someone emailed us.
Email for this podcast. I think you said it the other way.
Oh, podcast for this email.
Yeah.
Email for this podcast. And someone admitted to us that they sent us a bunch of emails and we read 2 of them, and they just were complete lies. They said that they every one was basically just a lie, and they said that they're going to therapy now, I think, for compulsive lying. But they said they're sorry, and they said now if they send an email, it will only contain truths. But yeah, if you're a longtime podcast listener, this is the one. These are the 2 stories that they said are basically lies.
Oh my God, you went. I want to know which ones are fake. Yeah.
So they said, I have sent this email, many emails, all filled with lies. Sometimes they were slightly based on reality. But 2 made it on the podcast. I thought I had a psychic connection with Jacob. So I guess she made up a story about that and I said it. And it's kind of funny thinking about one of us reading it and me being like, oh my gosh, that is weird. So it's kind of funny how whoever this is kind of fooled me maybe. And some fabricated story about my family throwing wine at each other. Both were completely false. So I don't remember the wine one, but reading this email kind of in a way ruins the whole email. System, because it makes me think like, oh, a lot of people could just be lying.
But you know how like even when we read the emails, like we both always kind of had a thing in our mind of like, these could just be made up. Because they're so over the top.
Yeah, and even like with us, I feel like there's been times where, well, let's say we're watching like Watch What Happens Live and they put on the corner like, tweet us like a question. Like sometimes I've wanted to make a random Twitter account and just like tweet the most nonsense shit because it just sounds funny. Like it's a little inside joke. So I kind of assumed it a little bit, but this wasn't admitted to it.
Yeah, I love how they're taking accountability. And didn't they? I remember reading that email and they said like, yeah, I'm coming clean to you guys because I don't know you, so it's pretty easy. But they said like I'm scared to like come clean to people I know in real life. So like this is my first step. So like I'm glad that we're the first step on their journey from not being like story time YouTuber exaggerating everything, you know?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not mad about it. I hope your compulsive lying goes down a little bit. I think they actually asked do we have any advice for compulsive lying?
What came to my mind was like maybe you should use this gift. Like do a character, like do it on TikTok, tell fake stories, but it's like a character, and then like in 5 years when you're so viral, it'll come out like it was all a character and it was this whole like social experiment. Like I feel like don't do it on people in real life, but I feel like there's ways they could still utilize this little skill they have.
That's a good example.
Maybe also join an MLM. That's all just lying to people to join. Like I guess that's hurting people, so maybe don't do that. But like then that also came to mind, like maybe marketing. Like you can go door to door and try to sell vacuums, and like you're just so good at stretching the truth that people will buy the vacuums, you know?
Yeah, because if you've been lying for this long and for the most part people believe you, this sounds like I'm kind of like enabling someone to be a compulsive liar. I feel like 100% you shouldn't lie to people that you actually know and stuff. But I feel like you could actually technically have a gift. So what I would say is kind of what Lucas was saying. I think that some of the best writers of like shows, books, anything could technically have a little part of their brain where they just love making up lies, which then get turned into books. So if you're good at creating lies and stuff, I would just assume you're pretty good at like, so like let's say you created a lie about, oh my gosh, I fell in the ditch, then this happened, then this happened. You basically made up a whole story. So I feel like if you do want to write, you should just start writing because you probably are pretty good at it, just naturally.
Just utilize the gift, girl.
That's the thing is that like, yes, Yeah, so I feel like you could turn it into something good, maybe.
Yeah, and even like when I think of watching like these storytime YouTubers and like then it comes out like they made up everything in the story times, it's like I'm not really that mad because I was still entertained while watching, you know? And I don't really care about their life. I was watching it for entertainment.
Yeah, but I feel like my advice wouldn't be become a storytime YouTuber because
Plus,
then,
that's very 2016.
well, even a TikTok storytime person, because then if it comes out that you're lying for the rest of your life, people even in real life are gonna assume you're lying. So I feel like if I was actually giving advice, that might not be the best route.
Yeah, but
it
what if
does
they're
sound
doing
fun,
a character? Miranda sings.
If you're doing a character, that shit sounds fun.
Miranda sings 2.0.
Yeah, that could be funny.
But another thing about celebrities, since you're talking about Blake Lively, I saw there was some tea going on with the girl from Clueless, Alicia Silverstone.
Is this the main character?
Yeah, she played Cher in the original.
I was just about to ask what's her name in the movie, but her name's Cher.
Yeah, Cher.
That's such a cool name, Cher.
So yeah, I know that is.
I know, I love that name.
No one's named that ever. Like obviously there's Cher. Do you believe in life after love? And then there's a girl off Clueless. But how come no one names their kid Cher? Okay, next time one of our sisters has a baby, I'm throwing that name out in the pitching sessions.
I also like the name, and it kind of just because I'm looking at our microphones. It's a shit. How do you pronounce that?
Sure.
Yeah, so Shure. I feel like that's a really cool name.
Sure.
But I feel like you could pronounce it differently.
Yeah.
Differently, same spelling, but sure.
Sure.
I feel like that's a really cool name.
Yeah. But anyway, she's a TikToker, I guess. Didn't know this, so I have to follow her. But I saw on Twitter before recording, she was just doing a casual TikTok just saying, hey guys, I'm in London. Like, what is this plant? And she was just like, she reached her hand over someone's fence. Like there was a townhome and she picked into like this bush and got like this little tomato thing. And she's like, what is this? Like, I'm trying to figure out what this is. And she was eating it and she was like, it's spicy and stuff. She's like, I'm just so interested. Like, what is this? And then all the comments are freaking out because she posted this apparently 12 hours ago. She hasn't posted since. And I guess it's poisonous. So we're gonna have to cut this out of the podcast if she dies. But like people are like, wait, oh my God, like, is she dead? LOL.
Oh, I didn't hear about this.
I know, but then people are saying she did eat a little bit, so hopefully she's fine. But as of the time of recording this, like, it is unknown. Like, I'm smiling, but I'm worried. Like, I'm smiling out of uncomfortableness.
At this house we lived like years ago when we were like children, I remember there was these little berries that would grow from these trees, but they weren't like blueberries or anything. I remember I'd eat them sometimes.
I'd always eat those little apple things, and they always tasted like shit. So sour.
I hope I'm right, but I feel like she'll be okay. Because I'm just seeing in a world like maybe I've eaten like something that was a little bit poisonous, but you just eat the right amount of it.
Yeah, for sure. But also,
that's like
someone
scary,
posted
though.
under the tweet that it's allergic to humans and dogs, and it's like, why are people growing this then?
Is it just naturally growing though?
No, but they had it like landscaped in front of their house. It's like, what if why is it growing? They just want to low-key kill people. That's like when you're a serial killer, but like you don't want to fully commit.
But also, is it people in this on Twitter not knowing fully what it is? Because for example, I don't know if this is true, but isn't there probably another fruit that looks exactly like a blueberry that's poisonous? That's thing.
True,
is it a fruit that looks similar?
That's the thing. I'm just taking faceless accounts on Twitter's like tweets as full fact. But all I'm saying is please pray for Alicia Silverstone. Alicia sounds, I feel like that's not it. Alicia Silverstone. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Mrs. Silverstone. Let's pray for her because we need to get a Clueless reboot.
But I love how she's so like, what's the word? Just like carefree. Like that sounds like someone so carefree. Like I want to be around that. And she's just walking around London, you said, and just grabbing a fruit, being like, what is this?
And I want to like find out more about her. Like
I know.
I don't know. Like it just seemed like you were watching this really like charismatic TikToker, like who never was an actress. Like just like, oh my God, okay, Alicia.
How did TikTok do this? I feel like these celebrities and stuff, you like took all this social media so seriously. But then how did TikTok create this whole thing where there's all these like mainstream celebrities like acting like, oh, I'm just gonna like be myself? Whereas what I'm trying to say, I feel like in like 2016, all these celebrities were just being fake. Like, oh, this is my house tour. And like they just made up a personality. But now it seems like these celebrities are actually down to be themselves.
I know. It's funny seeing these like really mainstream movie stars do like TikTok content. Like I remember seeing Reese Witherspoon being like, you guys, like, does anyone else relate to this? Like, I never want to work out. And like she was like saying some sort of relatable joke about how nobody wants to work out and it's always so hard. But I was like, that is just funny because that's actually just like something any TikToker would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love
And then you
that. But then
see
what if like it seems all natural, but like she has like a group of writers? She has like a table read every week.
And the best thing they could come up with is, I don't want to work out. Like that sounds like something fun.
I know, but it's Slade.
true,
It's Slade, so like they knew how to be relatable.
I guess, yeah, who knows?
Okay, no, I just think she's doing it herself, but that is funny thinking of like somebody else holding up this like big like professional camera and they have it vertical so it looks like an iPhone.
But it's actually like not even filmed landscape and
Yeah.
we talked about Jordan Pruitt last week. You talked about what did you say? Like we wanna maybe she'll be a guest.
We
want to
have her on the bro show. She's if you just to refresh your memory if you don't watch last week, she's the singer of Outside Looking In, and apparently she also had a song for Jump In, which is why I thought of that. Jump to the rhythm and dance to the music. So that's why I thought of Jump In.
Okay, so I was just on Instagram the other day and someone DM'd me saying that Jordan Pruitt is public now because you said that she's private on Instagram.
Yeah, so I felt bad for even bringing her up.
But then it's weird because then the person linked their profile and I went to her profile and it's public now.
I know, you told me this.
I feel like what's weird about it is it made me feel like, wait, like, it's like this weird thing in the world where us mentioning that she's public, like she just randomly thought like that the week that we posted that, I'm gonna become public now. Like, I just think that's a really weird coincidence. I don't think she watches it or anything. I just think it's weird.
I know, but I would guess 2 bro show listeners DM'd her and just said, go public again, queen. Like, we missed your content. Like, I feel like even just one of them might have messaged her and she was like, wait, like, why am I hiding myself? Like, I'm going to go public.
I was kind of thinking that, like, yeah, maybe someone that watches or listens to the podcast did DM her like a really sweet DM.
Also, I just realized this is what Lana Del Rey does. She's private, and then every now and then she goes public so fans can follow. But I followed Jordan Pruitt while she was public. But you know how Lana does that? Lana has an account that's private, and then every now and then you'll see on Twitter, you guys, she's public, hurry and go follow her. And then you follow her, and then she goes private again because she only wants that fans seeing her content, like not the whole world. So maybe Jordan Pruitt's kind of doing that type of method, like, she goes public once a month, and if you're lucky enough to see her profile when it's public, you can follow. But otherwise, like, you're not in the club.
Oh, yeah, that could be it. With the Lana Del Rey one, I remember thinking it's so funny because I actually totally get the explanation that you gave. Like, she probably just got annoyed seeing all these comments calling her names or just being annoying about her music. But then I remember when the chance that I got to follow, I swear she had like 4 million followers. And I would think like, okay, hopefully these 4 million people are like actual fans that love you, but like, it's just funny. At this point, it's just a public Instagram.
I know she kind of went through like a self-sabotage stage. Like, she still hasn't posted on her main account, right? Because remember she said like, you guys, didn't she delete it?
I think the main account's deleted.
Yeah, remember she was like F Instagram. And then it's like, yeah, then you have the second profile, which still has like millions of followers. And then that was also around the time where, remember she said like, I'm quitting music. Like, remember she was like, yeah, like, it was fun being a musician, but I'm probably just going to get a 9 to 5. Like, I don't really F with this anymore.
But then I've heard so many other people say that are like, make music and stuff or other people. And then I just kind of realized that when people say that, they actually could be serious. But anyone, not only just like these artists, I feel like everyone just randomly throughout life is like, oh wait, should I just completely take a new trajectory throughout life and just completely change it? So I kind of feel like people saying that, yes, they could be fully not bullshitting. I feel like a lot of the times it is just, they just have a cycle of self-doubt or something.
Doesn't she have a country album coming out? How come like we haven't heard anything about it?
Yeah, I saw.
Lasso, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to, I think it's like, yeah, I remember seeing like months ago, it's supposed to come out in like September. I don't know if that's true.
Maybe
though.
she'll just surprise drop it one day.
Yeah, I feel like that's what she would do.
I'm so excited for that. Just have some really sad like country afternoons listening to it.
Yeah, my hope for the album, which who knows, but I hope it has a feature of a Casey Musgraves. Because Casey Musgraves is like my favorite country artist. So if they have a collab, like it kind of fits them having a collab.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, I guess
2
we'll see,
queens
though.
coming together, you know?
To create a bop.
But speaking of what you were saying earlier about Jordan Pruitt, how like, wait, what if no one even messaged her and like she just happened to go public because of the universe?
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
Okay, I was on Reddit waking up on like Saturday morning scrolling. This is probably not the best thing to like for your mental health, but I woke up and immediately scrolled social media because I didn't want to get up yet. And one of the things I saw on Reddit was scientists found out the mind is part of quantum mechanics and where our brain is connected to the whole universe. And I was like, girl, what?
Joint consciousness?
And I was like, is it finally being proven? So here's the summary, guys. This is now a science podcast. We're getting into quantum mechanics, which every time I've tried to understand quantum mechanics or quantum physics, I always feel like I get it, but then like I'm just like I don't understand. Like I wish I knew someone who was such an expert on it and I could ask them questions for like 13 hours.
And then I read an article, this was like a year and a half ago at this point, and I think this is what it's called, quantum computers.
Oh,
and
that
that's like
is
this whole
weird.
thing where like it's actually going to be way more insane than what we even think it could be.
But I still don't get like how do they make a computer? How do they make a quantum computer? Like I just don't understand it. Like are these like gigantic?
That's
how
the
computers
thing, like,
were in the 70s? Like do they take up 2 rooms?
Like, yes, it scares me. I don't know, but it actually really excites me because I'm just thinking back to the 80s. I wasn't alive, but I'm just trying to picture myself in this house. There being a scientist on TV saying, okay, some homes are starting to get computers because I think, computers like were a thing like way back then, right? Like, but some people had them. And like, the companies are starting to get them in the office. And then probably like, what? This is so weird. We're going to all be connected maybe? And then fast forward 50 years, like literally so many people have a computer. You have a computer on your phone. So I feel like...
And we don't even think it's crazy because it all happens over such a long period of time that like you never notice how crazy the world's gone.
Same with like, even this is crazy. Like just to go on to what we were saying, like we were driving our mom's car. Well, you have a Tesla, so that's even crazier. But we were driving our mom's car and she has like cruise control that has like, what do you call it? Like
adaptive cruise control?
Adaptive cruise control, which my car doesn't have. But even that was crazy. Like I swear, like you don't, so when you're on a highway, you technically don't need to do anything except move the wheel. And I remember thinking
so
like,
much easier.
Back in the day, like people would have thought this was insane. And even I think it's so cool. But then even with your Tesla, like technically on the highways, it has full complete driving.
Yeah, I never trust it though because it always like is so annoying.
Yeah, we've been on it and it does some scary stuff, but still,
Elon just is a flop.
But it technically could.
I feel like I got so scammed by like I do like my Tesla because it drives so smooth, but I remember like in 2019 going to the mall to the Tesla store and they said by the end of this year you won't have to drive. It'll be fully self-driving and you'll be able to rent out your car when you sleep. It'll be doing Uber. You'll be making money on the side and. Bitch, like I paid the thousands of dollars extra for the full self-driving and I never use it because like it just doesn't, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the whole Uber thing though, for fully just bringing it down to base level. Okay. Yes, that does sound cool having a little side hustle. Make $100 every night or something, let's say. Why would you want to get your car dirty?
You'd have to put down like saran wrap.
That's the thing is like, if you that die hard that you need that much of a side hustle, like why would you want your car to get dirty? Like, that actually sounds more annoying than cool.
Because I feel like even if you're an Uber driver and you're in the front seat, people are kind of disrespectful. You're giving them your empty car. People are going to be filming OnlyFans videos in there, mukbangs, shitting, like it's just gonna be a whole mess.
Because even if you do put plastic down in the morning, you're gonna have to wipe down the plastic with all the cum and stuff. Because the only people that go in Ubers at night are these drunk ass people that are having sex in the backseat.
And filming it all on OnlyFans and streaming to porn websites.
The only people that use Uber at night are OnlyFans creators.
Porn stars, sex workers.
They should pop off, but obviously for my car, I don't want it to become an Uber because then the OnlyFans creators are gonna film porn in the back.
Like obviously the bro show, you guys know, like we support sex workers, go off. I just don't want you to film it in my car because I don't want, like, if you're doing like a jelly and peanut butter scene, like I don't want to have to clean that up, you know? I'm not signing up to be part of the set.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the quantum mechanics in the brain. So this is my little summary. I might have it wrong. Maybe there's a quantum expert listening and they can correct me. Okay. So the idea is that consciousness, so it's all about consciousness. So consciousness might be connected to the universe through quantum mechanics, and it's gaining attention among researchers. So basically they found out that they're pretty sure there's quantum processes happening in the brain, and it could suggest that consciousness could be more than a product of neural activity. It might be linked to quantum phenomena. So it might not be like local in our brain, like we might be connecting like to a quantum realm or something, I think. So this has led some to speculate that consciousness could be a aspect of the universe that like we tune into. Like we don't all have our own consciousness, but like maybe there's like this like, and isn't that weird? Because isn't that what spiritual people have always been saying? Like I remember reading these spiritual books and they always say like there's joint consciousness and like we all just tune into the consciousness, and like since you're an individual, like it feels unique to you, but like really you're just like tuning into the joint consciousness. Like I feel like that still is very speculative. Like they didn't prove that, but they did prove that there's quantum processes happening in the brain. So like they might be able to prove that we all have joint consciousness. And that's why Jordan Pruitt went public, because the joint consciousness,
So-
you know? Also, that's so exciting though, if they ever do find out that consciousness like isn't locally in our brain, like we sort of tune into it through our brain, like through quantum processes. That'd be so weird because it would kind of prove like, wait, what if we just go to that consciousness when we die then? So like there really is an afterlife. Like we're all just, you know what I mean? Isn't that just weird? Like could they move that consciousness to like a robot?
That's weird. This is making me think of this show that I was watching yesterday. It's this like comedy show, but you should watch it and you guys should watch it. It's on HBO. It's called like, I don't know how to pronounce it. Fantatas. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like, I don't really know what you call this type of show, but it's a comedy show. But there was this part of the show where like, what if this became a thing? He was like scared that he was getting skin cancer. So then he found this business where you could pay $1,000 a month and you would just become an orb. So your like consciousness would still be here or whatever, but you would just become an orb. But like,
And
what
you could
if?
still talk and stuff?
Yeah, but like, I don't know exactly how it worked, but this company was just scamming.
Oh.
But what if like someone created a business like that in the future? Like you just hated being in your body, so you could actually turn into an orb. That would probably never happen in our lifetime, but it just made me laugh
just
so much because if that
scary.
was like actually a reality, I would actually be terrified.
I
Like,
know, that
you could
sounds so
you could
terrifying.
technically like kill your body then.
Oh yeah, ew. But I think this the creepiest thing is that we're in 2024 and like we feel like we know everything, but like the scientists still don't really understand consciousness. Like, isn't that just creepy in and of itself? Like, what?
Yeah, so
It's all quantum stuff.
I feel like quantum is
Quantum.
we need to create much quantum on it.
People who actually understand quantum mechanics are probably like, bitch, you butchered that. Like, that isn't the conclusion you should have came to. Like,
All I know is I'm creating much that has quantum on it. I'm creating much.
we're treating this to the quantum bro show.
I'm creating much.
Quantum.
I switch on much quantum and we all just wear it because we think it sounds cool. Quantum.
Oh, another thing I wanted to talk about was Obama's music playlist.
Okay, the one that stood out to me was 365 by Charlie XCX.
I know that is just so funny to me that Obama is bumping 365 by Charlie XCX. Like I love how he always is like tuned into gay Twitter, it seems like.
I
But
need
always-
to know who's choosing this playlist.
I
Like, because I
know.
actually could see a world where he genuinely likes being like immersed into everything that's happening, and that's why his playlist is so diverse. But I could also see a world where he has like people that work with him or assistants or something that just like tell him like this song is good and he listens to it once and is like, oh, it sounds good, let's put it on
I want
there.
to know the whole process of these how he picks these lists. Like I hope he's taking it seriously. Is he like retired now? So I hope he's just at a vacation home, like has his iPod shuffle, because I hope he uses like a MP3 player for this.
I feel like I could see him using a record player.
Oh, that would even be more iconic. And then he plays each one, fully listens to it. And like, I hope this is like weeks of deliberation to come up with this list.
So
And
he
then-
has a movie. Does he have a movie one? Or is it just books and music?
Oh yeah, that's another question I have. Like, I don't even get the point of these lists. Like, it's just for fun. Because I know, like, is Oprah the original celebrity who was like, I'm gonna tell everyone what my favorite books to read and make it a whole moment where people follow me for my taste. But like, is he kind of like trying to do like an Oprah thing or like?
But then again, I could see way back in the day, these socialites in these cities would do this.
Oh, it's like they would tell
like,
everyone their
print off,
current
like,
tastes.
Yeah, they would like have a 10-page mini book. I don't even know this was a thing, but I could believe it being a thing. Like a 10-page mini book of this is my life in the last year and this is what's cool. Basically, essentially.
Yeah. That's just so funny that he even does that. I love it. But like, I just want to know, like, is it for a bigger reason? Like, is this a partnership with Spotify? Like, or is it literally he just is like, hey, girlies, like, this is the music I like. Just wanted to share it.
That's the thing is that he was literally the president. So it could be something way huger than I ever thought. But I honestly just thought, because like, I thought there wasn't any money in it because it's so random. But it could be a thing where like, who knows? Like it's like part of like his influence and he thinks he picks it because he wants his influence to live on. Like, I don't know, like something deeper like that.
I wish he would go even deeper and say like my favorite get ready with me TikTokers. And he'd be like, last year I was really into Alex Earl. Like, she's good still. Like, don't get me wrong. I still like watch her videos from time to time, but I'm moving on to like this new get ready with me girl. Like, I want to hear his like tastes and everything.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to go more in depth.
I just want to believe, and I hope it's true, that he actually is like, oh, I just always want to know what's happening. So he like spends like 2 days listening to all this new music, and he puts notes.
What happened?
And picks out the best ones.
What happened?
I thought I heard something.
Oh.
And picks out the best
Quantum
ones.
vibes. Some like quantum thing.
You guys can judge me, but it's how I felt. But I hope he really does listen to this music and like he just really loves being up with the times and hearing everything. Because 365 by Charlie XCX, for example, that's like the one that stood out to me. Like if we're just fully going by like, I guess I don't know if this is true, but like it's not like it is a big song. It probably has millions of streams, but it's not like on Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, shit, I don't even think it's a single.
Yeah, it's like him putting that song on it just makes me believe that he might listen to it.
I love how him and Michelle are like, when I'm in the club, I'll be bumping that. 365 Party Girl bumping that. Like,
It's
I
just
just
so
love
ironic though, like having a song about Coke, but when you were the president, people were going to prison for doing Coke.
And now he's like jamming to like cocaine songs.
Yeah, I guess it's just weird. Like he probably didn't even think about it when he was president. Like we don't need to focus about people going to prison for Coke, but it's just weird, like the irony of it.
Oh, then even last year, didn't he pick Ethel Cain as one of the songs?
American Teenager.
Yeah, so he's just always bumping
Ethel
it.
Cain would be a whole other level of like niche. It's like, because Charlie XCX, like,
Yeah, she's actually like having a full-on commercial moment where Ethel Cain is still a little bit more underground.
Yeah, so that's just that's the thing is that if Ethel Cain was on that playlist, like someone that you listen to on Spotify that gets like 100,000 listens a song or 50,000 listens a song, Barack Obama might be considering them for the next playlist.
I feel like
anyone could be on it.
Maybe his daughters are really influential with that. Like he is like really, I love how he's also evolving his music taste. Like our dad, for example, I don't even know their age difference. Maybe Obama's like 20 years younger. No, I think they're kind of around the same age, right? I would just guess. But anyway, our dad, my whole entire life, but he's always had the same music taste. Like he always just listens to In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, Iron Butterfly, like Colors by the Beatles. Is that by the Beatles? She draws me colors everywhere.
I think so, yeah.
But he always he just likes the same 20 songs and he isn't going to go out of that, you know? Like he's never looking for new music. So it's cool that Obama's kind of taking the opposite approach.
Because our mom, like, is pretty, she's always changing.
Oh, yeah. She's always like, oh, yeah, like, I like the new Jonas Brothers song. Oh, my God, the Post Malone and Morgan Wallen song is, like, my jam. Like, she's, like, the Obama vibe, whereas some people, like, listen to their old music.
Because I feel like if we're going off our dad, I feel like with us, for example, we might not be like that. Just for this example. I don't know if this is true, but couldn't you see he's been like that since he was 18?
Oh, because we found out that the music he likes is before he was a teenager. So it's like, girl, you were trying to be indie back then and you're still sticking with it.
Yeah, I feel like with me, I like for sure, I go back to songs I've listened to throughout the years.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I always want to hear new music because I want to like hear the new beats, you know?
Oh, yeah, I hear the new inspirations. Yeah. But yeah, I actually get that, especially with streaming now. I feel like when I'm driving in my car, it might actually be like 80% old music because I feel like, yeah, finding new music that you really F with is kind of hard.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess I'll just go back to He Said, She Said by Ashley Tisdale.
Put it on the station.
Yeah, you know.
I wonder, wait, have you ever done that? Put He Said, She Said by Ashley Tisdale on and then turned on the continuous play option.
I don't think I have.
Because I feel like that could, like, if you really want to just board on a car, like, that might be a good option.
That's true.
Because they would play, like, Sneaker Night by Vanessa Hudgens, and, like, it would play some other, like, shit that you forgot about since you were
I know
11.
it's actually so fun listening to the music you haven't listened to since you were 12. Like, me and Jacob were on a long car ride recently, and we randomly played all of Hannah Montana songs, and we were like, this literally feels like music from, like, the 80s. Like, the quality sounds, like, bad, kind of, like... I was like, this is so different than I remember.
My favorite song was, how did it go? Because when it toned down, I was like,
this is a vibe. Song. It was one that goes, crank it up, get loud.
You're pumping up the party now.
And then we were curious, so we looked at where they all charted, and they all were like top 100 hits. Pumping Up the Party, I think, was a top 40 hit.
I feel like people need to bring that back. So I don't know what the big, like, tween show is, but tweens, they need to get their music charting.
I know, they aren't really FM with that anymore.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, okay, like, why aren't these, like, 13-year-olds, like, making their music chart? Like, what? Because maybe there's not a TV show that's, like, iCarly or Hannah Montana that they love, but, like, why isn't the music shouting
It seems
that's
like
from
more
these
it's the vibe,
little
like-
kid TV shows?
It seems like now it's more the vibe of like you get big when you're like 24, which is probably better for people's mental health, but we need to get back to
Also,
the middle school music.
The thing about like me, for example, I feel like even when I was 10, I was just listening to like Lady Gaga. Like yes, I was listening to the soundtrack of Victorious, the ones I liked.
Yeah.
But also like I was listening to Lady Gaga and like everyone else that was on the radio. So I feel like it's also a thing like, well, these people aren't listening to like stereotypical kid music, you know?
Also, during that same car ride, we listened to Black Eyed Peas, The End album. Is that what it was? That one we listened to?
I think so, yeah.
And it was just so funny listening. Like Black Eyed Peas, it literally feels like you're going into a different dimension listening to their music. Like it's so goofy, so vibrant. Like it's just gummy bear music.
I just decided like I like totally fuck with them.
I know it's just like literally like robot music. Like, I'm a beat, 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 and then boom, boom, pow. Like I just feel like will.i.am and Britney Spears need to make a full album because I feel like their vibes like just work together and mesh together so well. Like I picture will.i.am on the beats, Britney spinning in a circle. She has her iPhone tripod up because she likes to record the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like she's doing it, has like Snapchat filters on her face, like every now and then looking at those and then talking to will.i.am about like inspiration for the music. Like I feel like they can make an actual masterpiece.
No, like I feel like people don't think that like Britney Spears still is like a creative genius.
I thought
but, like,
she's more creative than ever.
Yeah, I feel like if her and will.i.am, or maybe if she likes these other producers, try a bunch of songs with all these different producers, or if she wants to produce it, maybe she could. I don't know. But I feel like she should get. I mean, maybe she hates music now, but I feel like she could create such good music.
Oh, yeah. I feel like, yeah, and it has to be a producer like will.i.am. Like, you know, he's just down to clown. Like,
oh, yeah.
you go, man, no, don't funk with my heart. Like, he is just like a goofy person. So, and I feel like he would also be patient. Like, he'd be okay if they went to the studio, she span in circles for 6 hours and they didn't really get anything done, where maybe Max Martin might be more like mad because he's thinking about, I have to do Ariana's next album. Like, I feel like we need will.i.am.
I feel like it has to be someone that's also not like trying to create. Maybe will.i.am is like this. He probably is like this because he's successful, but like not someone that's trying to create hits.
Oh yeah, because I feel like this album.
I want to hear whole actual music.
Yeah, I would picture that I would love this album, and a lot of people would, but I don't think it's really going to be a commercial hit. I don't think there's going to be a number one hit. It's going to be more avant-garde, you know? Don't funk with my heart. That type of vibe.
With Britney Spears, though, we were also listening to her disc like music, and I just want to mention this. So, Mind Your Business, will.i.am. It's about everyone being obsessed with her. Mind your business.
Yeah, mind your B. Mind your B.
And then the song off Blackout. It's not Give Me More. Oh, what's the other big...
Piece of Me?
Yeah, Piece of Me. That's also basically about everyone's obsessed with me. There's a few other Britney Spears songs about everyone being obsessed with her paparazzi and stuff. Now, here's the thing. I totally believe, like, oh, she probably does hate paparazzi and stuff. But it just made me question, Britney, if you're watching, I'm not trying to hate. Maybe you didn't even write these songs. But why does she have so many songs about glamorizing it? Now, Britney Spears, I'm not trying to hate, but I just want to know why she has so many songs about glamorizing everyone being obsessed with her and people wanting to know where she is at every moment.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if she wrote. Do you think she wrote those songs?
I feel like Blackout, she probably was in it creatively, right?
Yeah. I feel like it's just this weird dichotomy where you think it's so cool. Everyone's so obsessed with me. Like, I'm always on the front of all these magazines. But then at the same time, when it actually happens, it's like, oh, wait, like, I actually, like, hate this. So, like, it's like that weird dichotomy, you know?
No, yeah, like, that's the thing is that, yes, I'm asking this question because I want to know the answer to why she did this. But also, I, like, could understand it from outside view. Like, she actually was tormented by these paparazzi. But then also, like, maybe just in this other headspace, she like was like, this only happens to like 1 in a billion people. So like, I am kind of special in that regard. So then she wrote a song about it. Like I could kind of see that happening.
That's like recently, we also watched the music video to Rumors by Lindsay Lohan. And that's the exact same vibe. It's all saying, stop.
Oh, the side cam was stopped.
Fuck. That song's the same vibe of her being like, okay, all these rumors are starting about me. All these paparazzi are following me and I just want it to stop. But then the music video is like, she's kind of loving it, like kind of making it a glamorous moment. So it's the same thing, you know?
Yeah, well, like in these interviews, I'm guessing Lindsay Lohan was like, this is so annoying. But then she literally has a song and music video where she's essentially like making it seem so glamorous.
Oh, I feel like
and
that's
stuff.
even people do that who aren't famous. I feel like it's like if you were saying everyone's talking shit about me at work, but then you could also make it a moment like, why is everyone obsessed with me? Like, why am I always the topic they want to bring up? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's like you can make these things that are bad and kind of glamorize them.
Also,
just for your own, like, just to make yourself feel better.
I don't have an example of this, but this could also be happening with like these billionaires. I'm guessing a billionaire has done an interview and said, money doesn't mean everything. But then there's also a clip of them them going on a private jet, drinking champagne.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is these weird things in life where it just like is the dichotomy of everything.
Yeah, couldn't you picture
mushing.
like you get divorced and you're actually very sad. You're like, oh my God, like I thought we'd be forever. Like it's so sad. But then if you go to the studio with will.i.am, you don't want to really make it a pressing song. So the vibe's more of, yeah, they left me because like they couldn't handle like my freak. They couldn't catch up with my freak. Like you kind of make it into a cool thing, you know?
Yeah, I guess also I always forget that not everything has to be truthful.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it just might be therapeutic.
Like, for example, Flowers by Miley Cyrus. It's all about, I can do everything on my own. I don't need someone. But also, I could see she went to the studio that day and she just felt down. She was like, I'm single. Everyone hates me. Like, let's say she just thought that. But then the producers were like hyping up or something. And she just got in a vibe of like, I can do it all on myself. But then maybe that isn't truthful to how she actually feels. Like,
that's true.
That could be a thing. So I just always forget that, like, it's just all, like, nothing has to be truthful.
I actually remember hearing Katy Perry talk about Roar and Firework, and she actually said, I write these songs for myself because when I write them, I'm feeling down. And you know how when you listen to those songs, you think, bad bitch, she's the eye of the tiger, but really she was so down, she needed to pump herself up. So Britney felt so bad, like, these bitches are all in my personal life, but then to pump herself up, she was like, wait, why am I even sad about it? I'm the coolest bitch ever. Like, everyone else like wishes they were getting paparazzi, you know?
I'm glad I got my question answered because I was just confused about it because it sounded so weird to me. But now I have multiple answers. I don't know which one's correct.
Yeah,
but one of them's correct.
Humans are multifaceted. Like at one point you want to be photographed leaving Applebee's. Then when it happens the next day, you feel vulnerable, you know?
Yeah. Well,
we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yep.
Well, does that conclude this episode?
Yeah, I feel like I just need to watch like a 10-minute will.i.am video on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I need to watch more interviews of him.
Yeah.
I want to watch a long form interview. Has he ever been on a podcast?
I bet so.
Oh, he's another person we need to have a guest of.
Oh no, I would actually love to talk to him.
I want to just get goofy with him.
Yeah, and maybe like produce a little 1-minute song.
Like I feel like for 20 minutes of the podcast, he wouldn't even be talking, just be, I'ma be. Like you go into these little beats like on the couch, pod, and like it would turn into a hit.
I know, and I had this idea where if he was on the podcast and like, let's say we chatted for 10 minutes before we filmed, I have this idea, maybe I'm just completely wrong, where he would actually be hyping us up. Like he would be like, he wouldn't be talking, but he would just randomly say, wait, that was hilarious. Can you keep going talking about that? I just get this vibe where like he's actually just good energy.
I could picture so many different vibes. I could also picture him on his phone the whole time, but he's listening and like laughing, but like we can't really connect with him because like his brain's going through all these creative like oompa loompa things, like scream and shout, like, and he can't really connect with people around him because like he's so in the music quantum field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's just so tuned into that quantum energy of like the I'm a bee.
Basically like electronic robot type
like picture
shit.
the cover of The End, like that green face, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's what the quantum energy he's in.
And then it's so weird. Also talking about Fergie. So like I don't know if it's actually considered this, but she did some rapping on some of the songs.
Oh yeah, she's just multi-talented.
She's also singing on some of the songs.
Like she can belt it. She can
halfway.
Yeah, she will belt. She will give a good bar. She'll give some sass. She'll give a joke. Like, honestly, like, who else can do that?
And it's weird. Like, you see these music videos, and in some of them, she's acting so classy. But then in some of them, she's more like, oh, like, I'm just at a dive bar smoking cigarettes.
I know. And then I love how she's so creative. She even did the national anthem in a creative way, and some people hated it. But, like, she was like, okay, the national anthem, like, I'm going to mess with it and, like, give it my own spin. Like, my Fergie Ferg spin. And like not everyone got it, but that's part of being an artist. Like you try shit, you take the risks, and like Fergie Ferg will leave in a limo and like she'll feel great that she took a risk, but the whole world might hate it, you know?
Yeah, doing the national anthem, by the way, is just setting up to get hate. I feel like everyone just gets hate when they do it. Like,
I know.
because people are so particular, like,
I know they act like
hit
it's
these
like
notes, but we should just popularize like everyone's a good singer.
And also,
and I actually like that
I feel like
vibe.
people treat the national anthem like it's a religion. It's like, girl, it's a song. Like, let's add some different variations to it. Like,
I know,
why
like-
does it have to be this sacred thing? Like, I get it, America, but like at the same time, like if Fergie Ferg is gonna give her Fergie Ferg spin to it, like don't ask her to do the national anthem if you don't want to give a Fergalicious version.
Yeah, and I know people are gonna say this is unpatriotic. That camera turned off, by the way.
Oh crap! Should we just go?
I want to say one more thing though,
Okay.
but people would say this is unpatriotic, but it'd be cool if like someone did it with a bunch of auto tune. I'm talking about like heavy auto tune where it sounds like a robot. Like,
and then like
I
those
think that
cuts,
would sound really cool.
It was like, oh say, like when they cut the vocal so much, like that would be cool. And then it goes to a drop.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and thanks for loving the podcast. It warms my heart.
Okay, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.